Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. So, okay, I was going to be sitting outside at the lake to do my filming. However, there were bugs and I don't do bugs very well. So, the car, you have it. So, anywho, you guys, I have broken up my video because the trigger warning with the Epstein files, I just want to just put that in the video by itself, honestly, because it's like the energy is just not energying. So this is just trigger warning for everyone. This is a trigger warning. If your kids out, do not look at this. Adults, is a trigger warning. This is just some things that I found on the Epstein file. It's not going to be a long video because some of this, excuse the noise you guys hear in the background because cars are passing. I don't want to put everything I saw, because I don't think that a person needs to really like endure that inside their spirit. But I'm going to put some of the things I saw just to kind of, show what I've seen. And then I'll come and I'll give my ending as a commentary. And I'm not going to be in the video. I'm going to have the video play by itself. And then I'll come and give my commentary. So, yeah, let's get to this. Remember, trigger warning, you guys. And I will see you guys at the end. Let's go.
So now that everyone realizes I was right on the money when I told you the Epstein files were so horrendous because they contain sacrificial things with children, I do want you to know who and what they're sacrificing to. The level of discernment you have to have when reading and listening to people talk about these files is the main question that no one's asking, which is why, right? Everyone assumes it's for pleasure or this is like some sick fantasy these people have. It's actually more than that because the fantasy came after they did it for the first time, right? In the book of Enoch, it talks about these deities, right? These beings that fell from heaven, abandoned their post, and fell to mankind. These were the Watchers. With me, because I know you're like, what the fuck? Where are we going with this? Just chill. So Enoch, if you don't know, is the great-grandfather of Noah. You know Noah, the flood, but the ark, yes. It all coincides. Even though these books were removed by the Vatican and aren't in your Bible, they still exist. But nevertheless, the book of Enoch talks about the Watchers who were supposed to watch over mankind that corrupted us. Through this corruption, they taught things to humans, and it also involved very sadistic stuff and them mating with two of every animal. Jeffrey Epstein was obsessed with transhumanism and moving consciousness of humans into what we know as artificial intelligence. Why did I bring up the book of Enoch and the Watchers? Because that's who they're sacrificing to. Those are their gods. You know how when you hear someone say, praise our Lord, praise thee Lord, thank you Lord, they're not talking to the God we know. They're talking to the Watchers that abandoned their post to watch over us, that are still in charge to this day, and this is why they need sacrifice. Because children are God's children. They do hold the innocence and purity that God bestows upon all of us.
Companies that were found in the Epstein files. LifeTouch. You know when Picture Day in school came up and they used to come and take your pictures? Yeah, LifeTouch. The people who came and took our pictures, they were basically putting our faces in catalogs for these sick people to look through. It's disgusting that these people were really right under our noses. And next is the Chuck E. Cheese owner. I always knew something was weird with that fucking mouse, bro. Like, I'm rethinking anything suspicious that I've ever heard happen at a Chuck E. Cheese. And then the owner of Victoria's Secret, Pink, White Barn, and Bath & Body Works. The same person owns all 4 stores. That's why every time you see a Victoria's Secret, you see a Pink. And half the time you see a Bath & Body Works, you see a White Barn. And that really just makes me rethink Pink being more of like a teenager brand or whatever, because it's like, that's probably intentional. Wayfair was mentioned over 380 times in the files. Everything was true when people were saying that Wayfair is helping sell children and y'all thought it was a conspiracy theory. No, that's true. It was not a coincidence that they were literally selling pieces of furniture for over $100,000, $10,000, $20,000 with the coincident same names of missing kids. Kids that were literally currently missing at the time that the posting or listing went up. It just keeps on getting sicker and sicker and sicker and sicker. And honestly, LifeTouch was the biggest, shock for me because the people taking our school pictures, I would have never even thought to guess them. It's sad to know that children were really getting preyed on. They were not making yearbooks or trying to make memories or whatever the fuck. No, they were preying on children. It's sad because our parents, our teachers, our school administration, they most likely had no clue. Especially the parents and teachers. Nobody had any clue what we were opening the door to.
These were all the brands that were mentioned in Epstein's e-files. Nobody's safe from these Epstein's files. First it was Maddie Ziegler, then it was Timothy Chalamet, and now skincare is not even safe. In Epstein's e-file, he sent an email saying, Sunday at 2, Peter Thomas Ross is coming into my house to explain all the girls about skincare creams, cleansers, and such. You're welcome. Now, Peter Thomas Ross is a family-owned company. Now people are starting to boycott Peter Thomas Ross and their eye creams that are famous. Next, we got Les Waxner, the billionaire founder of L Brands, which formerly owned Bath & Body Works, Victoria's Secret, and Abercrombie & Fitch. He had a well-documented long-term relationship with Jeffrey Epstein, who served as his personal money manager and advisor roughly through 1987 to 2007. New owner of Peter Thomas Ross is now 27 years old, Ryan Roth. This news literally just broke, so I wonder how he's dealing with the fact of finding out his father was connected to the e-files. Comment below down a part 2 if you want more brands that were in Epstein's files.
Jeffrey Epstein used Victoria's Secret to recruit his victims, and the man who owned Victoria's Secret gave Epstein control to his entire fortune. His name is Les Wexner, founder of Victoria's Secret and Abercrombie & Fitch. He's worth almost $11 billion, and in 1991, he gave Jeffrey Epstein full power of attorney over his entire fortune. That means Epstein could sign checks, move money, open accounts, make deals as if he were Wexner, suddenly controlling one of the largest personal fortunes in America. That is one of the biggest sources of Epstein's wealth, and almost nobody talks about it. Then in 1998, Wexner sells Epstein his Manhattan townhouse. Epstein's private jet, the Lolita Express, was originally owned by Wexner's company. The plane used to traffic victims around the world was bought with Wexner's money. Now, how did Epstein use Victoria's Secret? Epstein posed as a talent scout. He told a young woman he could get them a modeling career. That was the door. Epstein's own notes, now in the DOJ files, say he never did anything without informing Les. And he also says they did gang stuff, I have no idea what gang stuff means, for over 15 years. In 2003, Les told Vanity Fair that Epstein was a most loyal friend. But last week, Les Wexner told Congress he never went to dinner, lunch, or a movie, or even had a coffee with Epstein. 15 years of doing gang stuff and not even one cup of coffee. 5 hours into his deposition with Congress, Lex's lawyer grabs his shoulders and tells him he will kill him if he says another word. Wexner claims that Epstein stole at least $200 million from his family. Epstein reportedly paid back $100 million, and Wexner never sued him for the rest. You don't let somebody walk away with $100 million unless they have something on you. Virginia Guffrey, who died by suicide last year, said under oath she was trafficked to Wexner. When asked about it last week under Congress, he said she must be confused. It never happened. The man who funded the plane, who sold Epstein the townhouse, whose brand was used as bait, whose money built his operation, whose own notes say gang stuff for 15 years, and his only consequence is a lawyer telling him to shut up.
Yo, you know the island isn't even the main. It's not. There's a ranch.
It's the Zorro Ranch.
Yeah, Zorro Ranch. The map, when you zoom out, there's a bunch of roads. I know it's like in the middle of nowhere. The closest thing to that place is a city, but it's like 40 kilometers away. And nothing literally in the middle of nowhere. It's like holes. Yeah, it's like prison. Bro. And if you try to run, there's roads that lead to other houses of Jeffrey Epstein. So imagine if you run, I'm gonna find the exit. No, all of them connect to that ranch. So it's impossible for anyone to escape that ranch. So what I'm thinking, the Zorro Ranch, what if this is one of the places they've done the hunting? Yeah, I was only going to say that's one of the places. Yeah, and there's already emails in the files. They said there are victims taken to these ranches specifically. What's so interesting is like, why there? You go to the island, why? Because this is vacation. Yeah. Why go in the middle of America? The island is for that disgusting stuff, and then this one is, why would you need hectares of land for these hunts? Like, it only makes sense.
Is Zorro Ranch in New Mexico worse than Epstein Island? Well, it's sure shaping up that way, and why won't anyone investigate the damn thing? So here is this massive ranch, if you haven't seen it before. Epstein had this private desert oasis, complete with a mansion, a private airstrip, and all the young girls that he could want being trafficked around the world right into Zorro Ranch. Many of them being groomed at massage parlors in Turkey and then flown in and used. Many little kids as well. Curiously, though, investigators decided to ignore the ranch when they were doing their investigation. They ransacked his New York City mansion. They went to his Palm Beach house. The one in Paris, yeah, they looked in there. And of course, Epstein Island. But for whatever reason, investigators haven't really wanted to touch this home at all, which is very curious. In fact, according to our sources here at Redacted, the new owner, Don Huffines, who bought the place for pennies on the dollar back in the day, has been open for police to come and do an investigation of the property. So, and by the way, he's running for office right now, and so his opponents are using this as like a last ditch, like 11th hour, try to go after the guy. Anyway, but the truth is that he's openly invited, he's totally open to the police coming there and doing a full investigation. You want to use ground penetrating radar? I don't see why he would have a problem with that.
Cadaver dogs, maybe?
Anything. But no one's taken him up on this. It's odd. Why would the police want to do that? Who's stonewalling this, actually? If he's basically inviting police to come there and use tools necessary to locate crimes, why would the police ignore this? Have they reached out to him? Because he's open to it. By the way, this property is like subdivided, so there's actually other owners of other pieces of this property. It's not just him, but of course all the media attention is about him because he owns the largest piece of it. But according to reports, Epstein's former pilot owns a piece of it. Maybe we should talk to him. Even worse, other reports have the DOJ literally telling New Mexico authorities, don't investigate, we've got this. This is ours. And then they didn't search the ranch before it went up for sale. So it goes up for sale, then Don Huffines buys it for like pennies on the dollar because it's a beautiful big ranch. And other reports say Don is preventing an investigation. And again, according to our reporting on this, that's simply not true at all. But people are running with that part of the story. Here's one example. The owner of the Jeffrey Epstein Zorro Ranch in New Mexico, Don Huffines, is ignoring calls.
Police are currently searching Epstein's Zorro Ranch for the two little girls' bodies, but let me tell you who owns Zorro Ranch now. President Trump's cabinet member, Russell Huffins' father, Don Huffins. Turning Point USA endorsed him. Yes, Turning Point USA, Erica Kirk. Are we connecting the dots, people? He's purchased Zorro Ranch, renamed it San Rafael Ranch, and has plans to turn it into a Christian retreat. I repeat, a Christian retreat. This property where they allegedly did trafficking, harvesting of organs, having babies, doing God knows what. I don't know. There was some crazy stuff going on at this place. Who wants to turn it into a Christian retreat? This new owner of the ranch says he's cooperating with the police search, yet he had armed security guards surrounding the ranch as there were protests held to draw attention to the human experimentation that's been alleged to have gone on there. As people have come forward and said that they were rugged and had their sex organs and sperm harvested from their bodies and woke up around medical equipment not knowing where they were or what was happening allegedly. Not to mention the SA allegations that went on inside of Zorro Ranch. And this ginormous property is just one of the properties where he used to lure girls and do God knows what to them. So despite the multiple headlines that you're seeing today about Zorro Ranch being searched and it's a good thing and people in the state are going after it and trying to figure out what's going on, I think it's important to know who owns Zorro Ranch now and what else could be going on. Donnie Boy is a former Republican state senator and candidate for Texas controller now. Everything in this post is alleged and, in my opinion, in all of our opinions. So what do we think now?
Epstein is the creator of Bitcoin.
Wait,
How, man? In the Epstein files, in the emails, it states Epstein was talking about Satoshi Nakamoto. Oh, that's the code name, alias of the creator of Bitcoin. Oh my. And he was mentioning it way before it was even a thing. There was all these billionaires before, and one of them, very famous billionaire, in an interview, he said, if you knew who was behind Bitcoin, the value of Bitcoin would crash.
if you knew who was really behind Bitcoin, you would run as fast as you could to sell it. I know. 100%. If you knew who owned Bitcoin or who started Bitcoin, you had Bitcoin, you couldn't sleep at night. I know. Bitcoin will go to zero. And microsecond.
The Epstein files came out 3 days ago. What happened to Bitcoin? It went down. Crashed. It literally crashed. It's going down the fastest we've seen it in a minute.
Epstein suggested that if Trump felt cornered, he might bomb Iran to spark a crisis and boost his popularity. You guys need to understand he is psychotic and would not blink twice at encouraging an attack on us, so he can leap to the country's defense mindset. If I go down, I'm taking everyone with. Cornering a rat, never a good idea.
One of the things I don't understand about the idea of getting into a war with Iran being popular for any president, maybe his approval ratings have gone up. I would assume that they have not. Americans don't want to be at war with Iran. It's very unpopular. 2018, when Epstein's writing this, it might have been different then, and maybe it would have been more popular. Epstein and these files, absolutely wild, and definitely lays credence to the idea that there was a blackmail operation, and it certainly gave a bunch of fuel to people who are like, we're doing all this because of Israel. It didn't help that at all.
I think it's really telling when we're talking about the Epstein files that we remember that there's multiple interviews of Jeffrey Epstein talking about Jesus, except for he can't really say the name. Have you noticed that? He can't really say the name. He only ever refers to him as like a carpenter or the carpenter or like that, which by the way is explicitly demonic because demons can't really say the name. They have to call him the carpenter, and they do that one to try and mock him, to make it seem like, oh, he was just a carpenter type thing. I mean, Jeffrey Epstein literally did that in an interview where he was talking about philosophers, and the interviewer mentioned Jesus, and he went, I thought he was a carpenter. I'm not interested in talking about that. Yeah, probably because you worship Baal, dude. I can't believe that. I'm still trying to struggle to comprehend that we have, like, documented proof of child sacrifice of the elites. That's insane. I can't believe I made fun of conspiracy theorists.
What's my name? What's my name? My other name. What do you call me? I am your father. From now on, you will call me your father. Shut up! You will call me your father. What is my name, huh?
I'm just a kid who's 4. Each day I grow some more. Finding my way, growing up as I could go. Don't you? You think you're hot shit, don't you? You will call me. You will call me. What's my name? What's my name? My other name. What do you call me? I am your father. From now on, you will call me your father. Shut up! You will call me your father. What is my name, huh? I'm just a kid who's 4. Each day I grow some more.
Everyone online is freaking out about a child saying Skippy and linking it to John Podesta. The clip has gone viral, fueling one of the internet's most persistent conspiracy theories. Forums claim it proves Podesta has a secret alter ego, Skippy. Experts and fact-checkers warn there's no evidence of abuse, yet the rumor spreads like wildfire, drawing millions of views and endless debate. Why is everyone obsessed with this nickname? Is it a real scandal, or just one of the internet's wildest viral hoaxes? Watch closely. The discussion online is more shocking than the clip itself.
Our dad, he forces me and Gabriel to do it, but because we can't, we're not strong enough to cut the baby's head off, he has us to hold the knife, and he puts his hand at the top of our hand, and he helps us to cut the baby's head off, because he's learning, he's teaching me and Gabriel, so when we're older, to do it to our own children and do this kind of stuff to our own children.
Where is it this that happens?
The church, the kitchen in our church.
The kitchen in the church.
Yes, they got.
So, right, this string. Tell me about this string.
So it's just like, it's not just like just a thin normal string. It's a bit thick, it's like maybe that thick.
Okay.
And they tie around.
Okay.
Like in a circle.
Right.
Hang it up on.
Where do they tie it to on the baby?
So it's like on legs. So they put the legs together, tie it on.
Yeah.
And so it's like one string around and then one string attached.
Yeah.
And it's hanging upside down. They get the knife, but they don't just cut it off absolutely. It's still on. So it's like the head off, but it's still hanging on.
So okay.
Yes, and then there's a big white bowl on the floor, and then the blood drips in, and then we pour it in a big silver goblet.
Okay, so where's this white bowl? Where do they get the white bowl from?
They bought the big white bowl.
From where?
From there's any shop, any white.
And where do they get the bowl? Where did they get the bowl from this time?
Any shop.
I don't want to do it anymore. I don't want to kill anybody. Or hurt anybody.
She was made to take a gun and put it up to someone's head. It was another child, and pull the trigger. We found out she had been defecated on, that it was smeared all over her body and put in her mouth. My children have talked about all of those things and worse. They've talked about having to kill other children.
How many babies did you say they had that night? They only had one that I had to kill. Mm-hmm. And then they made me skin it. And then after that, they made me get on the table, and then they sodomized me.
First time when we ever done it before, but the first time when we done it, we had feared so much.
When you did what?
When you killed the baby, first time. And
You killed the babies?
Yes.
You yourself?
With Papa. Papa held in my hand, he helped me. And he told me to cut the baby's head off. But he forced me to. I did.
He held your hand?
He held my hand. Yes.
Like what? Show me.
So this is my hand on the knife. He put his big hand on, and he pushed my hand and then cut off the head. Like that. And then when we got older, we got more used to it. But then we understood that then my mum, when my mum found out about it, she understood. She told me that it was wrong to do this kind of stuff. So then me and Gabriel had still been used to it, but then he had understood that it's wrong.
And so, what's your decision then?
Our decision, we had still a lot of fear in our head, but then when we read a book called June, it said that fear is the mind killer. So when we heard that, we thought that it was true. It was not really true. But then after, there was a man called Abraham who came to help us. He said that it is true, that fear is the mind killer. And then after, we said we had to face our fear. And then after we faced our fear,
Camera is here.
and then we after,
Camera is here.
and then after we faced our fear.
So what's you decided?
And we decided that we should stop. But then we said,
Come here, bro. Come closer, please.
Are you going to help us to catch? Who are you going to help us to catch?
all the people, Papa, Mr. Hollings, Mr. Saul,
All the policemen, all the social services.
Speak up, speak up.
all the shopkeepers, all the cafes, all the pizza and specials.
Who did you mention just now? Who, Kath, what?
Kafka's.
Who's Kafka?
You know, there's people who work at Kafka's.
What is Kafka's?
Kafka's is the they work.
But he's caught you and your sister doing things you shouldn't be.
Yeah. Then he asked me, who taught you to do this? Who done this? And then but then we told him it was a dad. And then.
Okay.
And then, but we were still really scared. We was really scared of him. But they didn't. They get the babies or the children, and then they get Miss Marden, our nurse in our school. She injects the child or baby in the nut just here though.
Right. Okay. And how do you know that?
Because I saw her doing it.
How did you see her doing it?
Because I saw her in the staff room. She was getting this. So she got this injection, and she done this. So the baby was there. It was just sitting on the table.
Right.
And I was just laughing there, and after she just injected her, and I was just like,
So Felix makes that chip.
Yes, and the skulls of the babies, you know the skulls?
Yeah.
Yes, they get the skulls, and they make make a hole with a driller, so they make a hole in, and they tie string around, and then they put it all around the body, but they're naked, and they got this tattoo on the private with like little piercings.
Okay.
Not like earrings, but like little gold piercings around their private.
Yeah.
And they all dance around with skulls on in the church there.
Okay.
So
my children, my two children, 8 and 9.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
September, and I can't remember how, but I found out that the police were looking for me. It might have been social services got in touch with me and said that you need to go to the police station, and the children have been taken away from your mom. And I'm saying, why? Why they're being taken away from the mom? What's going on? And they wouldn't tell me anything. I was kind of freaking out a little bit.
And what did the police say to you that you'd been accused of?
They'd said
Miss Morgan is a nurse of our school. She does the injecting. She pretends to be kind to my mom. And tries to be kind. And then after she just injects. She's a nurse, so she pretends to be kind to mom. And to save me and if I hurt myself, she pretends to be really kind to us and look after us and give us eye.
She's a member of the school?
Yes, she's
What do they all have? You say they all have a special something that they wear and stuff?
Yes, they wear this special kind of shoes. They make
What shoes? What special kind of shoes?
baby skin shoes. Daniel, Felix, and Max.
Who's Daniel, Felix, and Max?
They work at a shoe shop. Daniel and Felix, yes.
What shoe shop do they work at?
Daniel and Felix, they work in next to the O2 Centre one in this tube station.
Where?
Just inside the tube station.
Tube station where? What tube station?
O2 Centre one.
O2 Centre where?
So in the pool. I think it's the next waitress. I didn't have Finchley Road Station.
The tube station?
Yes. So when you come in, there's this shop, the shoe shop. And those fellas, they take off the skin. I don't know how. Oh, the baby.
And they make shoes?
Yes.
And who wears these shoes?
Papa, everyone wears the shoes.
Everyone in the cult. And who wears these shoes?
Papa, everyone wears the shoes.
Everyone in the cult.
super. There you go. That's that kind of thing. He's sacrificed. Please all know. So, stuff is better happening in that portal if you let the demonic fucking entities into this world. And that is the statue of Shiva, the god of destruction.
Whose blood was you drinking?
I didn't even.
Where'd the blood come from?
I killed an animal and got the blood from the animal.
What kind of animal did you kill?
A mole.
A mole? You mean to tell me you had a big meeting after to kill a mole?
Well, let's say that there was a mole.
What's wrong?
It's wrong, my friend.
Breaking news, the Epstein files were finally released. Over 33,000 pages were released by the U.S. Department of Justice. So now that they were released, they're in the process of uploading all these documents for anyone and everyone to read them. To all the Democrats that wanted these files to be released, they're released now. Now what? This is what everyone wanted, correct? What do Democrats or liberals have to say? I hope they can read every single page per page, and show proof of what they're speaking on. Because this whole time, there's been many allegations of Epstein being tied with Donald Trump. Anyone that was part of the Epstein organization, yes, they should be punished. But those that are falsely accusing people should also be punished, because that's defamation of character. And what I want to see people showing actual proof. I don't want to hear like they've been doing, well, this person's neighbor's dog's cat said this. That's what liberals do, no proof. They start with, did you hear? With no evidence. But what are your honest thoughts on this? And don't forget to follow for more news and finance information. God bless.
Right? He still looks animated. There's almost a smirk there. It looks like he's trying to close his eyes. And his mouth is closed. I have seen many autopsy photos. Jaws are almost always slack. I've seen dead and dying bodies. Jaws are always slack. You lose muscle tone immediately when you die. There's nothing holding the tension in your muscles. So for his mouth to be closed is an anomaly, okay? Someone's going to say rigor mortis. Well, typically with rigor mortis, the body will freeze in the position it's already in. So if the jaw was slack, it would remain slack. It could tense up, but this is a closed mouth. This is an intentionally closed mouth. But this is what
Did Jeffrey Epstein hang himself or did somebody kill him?
Senator, I believe he hung himself in a cell in the Metropolitan Detention Center.
Are you going to release all the information about that?
Senator, we are working through that right now with the Department of Justice.
When do you think you'll have it done, Cash?
I think in the near future, sir.
Like before I die?
Jeffrey Epstein's brother says doctors are about to release a bombshell report that will prove the people didn't commit suicide. A group of pathologists have been studying his autopsy results for months, and Mark Epstein claims the findings should spark a murder investigation into his death. He told Metro, "I'm led to believe it will be a game changer. Stay tuned." Mark has spoken out after new reports show the guard who found Jeffrey Epstein dead received mystery payments just days before.
Epstein was spotted in South Florida. He is still alive. The following discovery may make you question what you're seeing. Recently, a video that went viral on social media set the public ablaze. The man who was supposed to have died in 2019 was seen driving a vehicle in broad daylight, completely at ease. We compared this so-called recent sighting with old photos of Epstein. The match in biological features and the fact that both images show an identical mole in the same spot on the face has led many internet users to reconsider. In this age of artificial intelligence and deep fakes, that mole's position and shape seem almost too perfectly replicated. As a man who held countless secrets about the world's most powerful elites, do you really believe he would be easily disposed of, or would he take his own life out of desperation? While many may choose not to believe it and dismiss it as a conspiracy theory, the Epstein case itself is filled with impossibilities. With the recent release of numerous Epstein documents, more unknown details are emerging, pushing public suspicion to new heights. If the man in that car is indeed Epstein, then who was the body in the prison back in 2019? What do you think?
Jeffrey Epstein was allegedly spotted in South Florida, and with a zoom, he also has the mole of who he was. With this guy was the one that recorded, seeming very concerned of that person. This being an older picture having the same mole. Just like in this picture right here, that mole right there, identical to the previous picture. Caught in South Florida where he was whipping around. Chat, this is wild. And although many will not believe this, they're lying to your face. You really think he passed away or got taken out when he's one of the top? Y'all know what. Drop your thoughts down below. And to Kimmy Report, he's out.
So we've made it to the end of this video, and to be honest with you guys, I do agree that it is a distraction. I definitely agree that it's a distraction. But I also feel like it's a necessary distraction, because how long have people been saying that this stuff was going on? Don't worry, I'll wait. So it's good to see that it's coming out. It's not good to see that it's coming out, but it's good to see that it's coming out, because it's like maybe people will start being like, okay, well, conspiracy theories are like kooky and all. No. The proof is in the pudding. I don't really feel like going in depth on my reaction. I think you guys see my reaction. It's disgusting. It's deplorable. These people, or yuck. But this is who you guys are voting in the office. And I'm saying you guys, I don't vote no more. This is why. You know, we listen to, because I do listen to, like, and it's like, it really puts you in a position, because it's like, do you separate the art from that actual disgusting, despicable human being? Oh, I will say this. I used to work for Victoria's Secret, and to find out that Lex Wexner, which is the owner of Victoria's Secret, I think I'm saying his name right, whatever, but to see that him and Jeffrey Epstein was like this, and I used to like literally work there, and it's like, oh my gosh, I worked for the devil, because he was definitely all up in the mix of Victoria's Secret, as you guys seen in the video. Sorry if it's going, I don't have my lighting. I didn't want to film this shit in my house either, to be honest with you guys. I don't want this energy in my house. But I'm going to let you guys go. Be looking out for my next video. I'm going to be doing back-to-back videos, because I am behind. And I just didn't want to put this in the energy of other videos. Even though it's like, we're talking about Rihanna and, you know, just things like that. It's not like it's like a woo, like a positive, you know, but I just didn't want to put this with that, like, ugh. So I'm gonna let you guys go. I will see you guys on the next one. Be looking out for one soon. It will not be a week, it'll be less than a week, because I'm doing back-to-back. So I got like 2 more videos to kick out to you guys, so let me get to work, and I'll see you guys in the next one. So until I see you guys again, bye. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Bye, y'all.